Welcome to the Sunday card and rune reading. I'm Jenny Florence. Welcome back to those of you who are already a part of this amazing community that we're building, and thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your likes, shares, comments, and for subscribing, because that does make it possible for me to continue putting free stuff into the world, to continue with these readings. Guys, you are just amazing. I find your comments inspirational. Anyone that is new to this channel, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us. This is my first December reading as such. I'm actually working on the December readings for the signs at the moment. So guys, for those of you that are waiting for your sign, if you are already following my readings, thank you so much for your patience. For anyone that's new, I do big monthly readings. These are weekly readings for guidance. And I also have a playlist with the big 2020s in. So do check those out. I don't have a lot of playlists, so it's easy to find if you connect in with the channel. It's the 2020 playlist. Anyone new, I put a lot of free resources into the world, so do please check out the information box below. And during December, I'm going to be giving away some extra sort of gifts. I feel it should be a time of giving. I think giving is a wonderful thing, and I wish to give to this community because I do genuinely find you absolutely inspirational. I will be giving away a couple of extra free private readings. I give one a month to one of my subscribers. Also this week, in the first week of December, I'm going to be giving away 10 copies of the Art of Manifestation Astro-Moon Diary 2020. Now, I'm not going to talk about that now, but anyone that's interested, I'll tack a little video on at the end of the readings. So wonderful, people. Let's connect in with the energy of these readings. For weekly guidance, that's what these are. As I was preparing for these readings, I tuned into the energy. As I was preparing for these readings, I dowsed, and I was drawn to an angel and a crystal wand for each of the readings. Now, in reading number 1, we have cherry quartz angel, and a sodalite wand. Now, the cherry quartz angel increases energy. It's said to create a shift in fortune, and if we're feeling stuck or stagnant or something isn't moving forwards, it can release that sort of stuckness and improve a situation, move it through into a sort of a bettering of the situation position. Sodalite, it brings rational thought, clear thinking, helps us to articulate clearly. So, very good if we feel we've got to have a voice and we haven't been sure as to how to. It enhances self-esteem as well, and helps us to calm any anxiety that we have. Sometimes if people are panicking or suffer from panic attacks, particularly around having to speak, it's a very good energy to carry with you. In reading number 2, we have a tiger eye angel and a green aventurine wand. A tiger eye, the energy of tiger eye, it's a stone of protection. It's said to bring luck to the wearer. Again, brings mental clarity, sees through what I would call the fog. Fear, obligation, guilt, helps us to really be grounded. Grounded with clear, not just clear thinking, but thinking through awareness. That's what I'm really hearing. Green aventurine has an amazing energy. It cleanses, literally at a cellular level. I did a reading yesterday for Cancer for December 19, and I was drawn to the green aventurine, and I felt as though I was sitting in this bubble of cleansing. It was as though someone had placed a cloak of nurture around my shoulders while I was doing the reading. It was quite extraordinary. So it not only removes energy blocks, but it kind of nurtures and heals at the same time. In reading number 3, we have a white quartz angel. Very powerful energy. White quartz not only purifies and cleanses, but I think it repels negative energy as well. I often use it myself and recommend it to people if they are really, really empathic and highly sensitive, to the point of being absorbent. You know, when you can walk into a room, some people walk into a room and they feel everything. And it's very hard then to distinguish what belongs to you and what doesn't. Now the combination, it's interesting because we then have a clear quartz wand, and the combination of those two will really help with that kind of situation. The white quartz purifies, cleanses, and then repels any negative energy. So if you're, as I said, if you're a bit of a sponge, it will help with that. Clear quartz for me is the most powerful of crystals for healing, for enhancing awareness on all levels, for bringing illumination, helping us with divination, with healing, with connection, with a connection to source. So very powerful combination. To be fair, they're all very powerful combinations. So reading 1, reading 2 and reading 3. I tend to suggest just sit with your gut feeling, listen to your intuition. If you are drawn to more than one, then check out more than one. The timings should now be on the screen below you. They're also in the information box, so you can fast forward to whichever reading is speaking to you. Connect in with that energy. And as I said, sometimes for some people, more than one will speak to them, in which case listen to more than one. And I know for myself, I sometimes return to them. The reading that speaks to me on one day may well be completely different on a different day. So they really serve as guidance actually at any time, you know, even though today it's the 1st of December, guys, welcome to December. But, you know, actually I sometimes go back to readings I did a little while ago, especially these ones, because something will sort of spark a memory, and I'll think, actually, I'm having a moment when I want to check in on something I could do with a little bit of direction, and I'll just check in and I'll go back to one. Again, you should be able to find them in a channel. I wonder if I should actually put these readings in a playlist so that people can access them easily. I'll have a think on that. Anyway, guys, or give me feedback if that would be helpful to you, if I just create a Sunday card reading and rune reading playlist so that you guys can find them easily. Yeah, give me feedback, and if that's helpful, I'll do so. So guys, so much love to you. Welcome to reading number 1. I'm just going to place our angel and our wand up here at the top of our proceedings in a way. Actually, I'm just going to move that a little so we're going to have a little bit more space. Let's look at our runes first. This is a rune of initiation. Initiation speaks of, it's often speaking of a transition. It sometimes speaks of surprises, earthly or mundane, you know, something happening that is unexpected, but in a way that liberates, in a way that is transformative. It's almost as though the universe, I want to say the universe has the upper hand. The universe is acting behind the scenes. So it's not something that can be shared. I'm just going to say, when I say shared, it has the energy about it of our connection to the divine. When we receive spiritual upgrades, we can't always share them easily with people, but we kind of know the universe is at work. So that's this element here. It speaks of the phoenix rising from the ashes, the eagle soaring free of entanglements, gaining a higher vision. So that's the kind of energy of initiation, but it's a process. We then have the rune of movement. Lovely. This is the bettering of any situation, but it also suggests a gradual process. This is almost, the two together are like a process of what I would call spiritual evolution. The energy of movement is penetrating, it's significant, it speaks of gradual development, gradual awakening, new developments, sometimes new dwelling places. So very interesting energy. We then have the rune of openings. Fabulous. Renewed clarity, out of darkness into light. Clear intention plus action, actually. This rune speaks of taking action. So I feel as though if any of you are in a position where it's really interesting. I'm just connecting in with the energy of cherry quartz, which speaks of a shift in fortune, releasing a stagnant situation if we're feeling stuck. I would say that this reading would suggest that you are in a process of evolution, and given that it's a weekly reading, it's about fairly immediate guidance. I'm going to say that it would suggest that you're going to be receiving, or it's like some kind of an awakening, some kind of, you know, those sort of sudden realizations about something that give us the clarity to be able to, again, clear thinking, to be able to work out where we are and move forwards and take action. Again, the wand enhancing self-esteem. Let's lift all our cards and see what we have. I may need to move our runes. Okay. And work out how we're going to place all these on our table so they're still in vision. Okay, this is really interesting. Let's talk you through. So first of all, Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands says, actually it speaks of something happening in your external world that causes you to have to respond. So it's usually an outside influence, something that's not within your control, but it serves a purpose. And in fact, actually, I'm just going to move. I like to runes I always read from right to left, cards from left to right, so I'm just going to move this over here. This was definitely my first card to speak of, so something's happening. You can see the energy coming in, that's why it didn't feel right over here. Something has either happened or it's going to happen that causes you to have to respond. But this is to do with your own progression. The card of the devil, it actually says, you know, some people will demonize you. But it's about walking to the beat of your own drum, singing your own song. In this card, the two little figures who look as though they are tied to the devil are in fact there of their own volition. They can release those ties at any time and walk away, dance away. Freedom is available to them, but they have to choose to take it. Okay, so very, very interesting. Again, connecting in with this phoenix rising from the ashes, the flight of the eagle soaring free. We then have the card of the Three of Air, followed by the Counsellor. Interesting combination here. So Three of Air, education. It's about learning, willingness to learn, willingness to be. This is interesting because sometimes this speaks of guides, of teachers coming into our lives, learning from life lessons, but actually being given support and guidance in doing so. I do feel as though this is a time of illumination for you guys in some way. Back to the Rune of Initiation, sometimes surprises. It may be that someone brings you some piece of information, whatever this is, whatever it is that happens outside of you. I think it is being brought to you for guidance. It's being brought to you, something's being brought to your attention so that you can become empowered in moving forwards and taking an action with clarity. The Counsellor, if you are uncertain, clearly seeks support and help. The Counsellor speaks of, again, someone who's wise. It speaks of being objective. It's a time of questions. It's a time to ask questions, and again, of being particularly receptive. It brings the opportunity for understanding. So I would say be really, really open and responsive to anything that comes into your world at this time, because in fact, even if it is challenging, it may be there in support of you. Just going to move these cards. Now this is really interesting. We have a situation that says, first of all, we have the card, take your time. It says, slow down if you are feeling under pressure, whether in response to a situation or the demands of another person or from pressure that you are placing on yourself. This card asks you to slow down and take time to evaluate before reaching a conclusion, making a decision, or committing yourself. Ease off with the pressure, guys. That's what I'm really hearing. Make sure we're still in camera because we've got quite a few cards here to lay out. We then have course correct and walk away. Now this is really interesting because I'm actually hearing two definitively different messages here. I think for some of you, you actually do need to completely walk away from something, but it has been very, very challenging for you to do so. For others, it's about stepping up into a space of increased self-esteem, clear thinking, where you renegotiate your course. But for some of you, this is actually about, again, enhancing your self-esteem, stepping into a space where there is a shift in fortune. You release a stagnant situation. For some of you, I think there is a need to walk away. It's a very powerful card. I don't draw this card very often. These are the, I should just say, these are the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. People have been asking about them. This is currently the only pack in existence, but if you're drawn to any cards, if you check out, I now have a card page, a card and book page in my library. The link is below, so if you're drawn to any of these cards or runes, you'll be able to connect into them to find out what they are and where to get them. But let's get back to this walk away. Walk away from this situation. When we face a challenging or unhealthy situation, it can be hard to let go and move on. Sometimes we stay in the hope that someone else will change, or perhaps we are fearful of the unknown. We are so fearful of the unknown that we remain in the safety of a known and yet toxic situation. This card validates your entitlement to leave. This is a very powerful potential transition for you guys. But remember, the bettering of any situation here, and education, guides, illumination, a process of coming to a greater clarity of thought with, I really want you to consider your own self-worth and your own self-esteem in this situation. Course correct. Again, if an obstacle, I'm pointing to these two cards because sometimes there's something that happens, feels like an obstacle. If an obstacle or diversion has interrupted your plans, this card is here to assure you that the delay is providential, bringing you an opportunity to pause and reassess in order to fine-tune your direction. Again, guys, take your time. This also says, have faith in your dreams. This is like, for me, rubber stamping the reading. Have faith in your dreams and you're very close to achieving your goal. Whatever you are working through or working on, powerful times for you guys. I'm wanting to send you love, blessings, be really, it feels as though for me you are facing some sort of a challenge. Some of you it's quite a big one. For others it's a stepping stone, literally, on the way to something. But really, truly, guys, so much love to you all. This is wonderful. The Rune of Openings, renewed clarity, clear intent, plus action. Now, this is about having faith, not just in your dreams, but in yourself. So wonderful, people. I think I will wrap up this reading. Guys, do check in the other readings. The December 19 readings that I'm doing at the moment, the big 2020s, and of course watch out for the announcements of the winner of the free private readings and the various books that I'm going to be giving away in the build up to Christmas. And just namaste, so much love to you guys, and thank you so much for being a part of this community. Welcome to reading number 2. I'm going to put our beautiful tiger eye and green aventurine sort of they look like, is it sentinels? But yeah, they do. They look as though they're watching over. These two are really emanating quite extraordinary energy, actually. So I'm just going to sit with that and absorb. It feels, I feel like they've created a boundary. It'd be interesting to see if this reading brings forth anything to do with boundaries. We have the Rune of Fertility. This is interesting, new beginnings. This enhances our intuition. This has something of the energy of the moon with it. Interestingly enough, this requires completion of beginnings. We need to kind of cross the T's, dot the I's. We're being asked to complete something so that we can move forwards. It's like completion of beginnings. It's like fertilizing the ground for your own deliverance. We then have the Rune of Possessions. This is a rune of nourishment. That really connects in with the green aventurine. it's a wonderfully nurturing energy. The Rune of Possession speaks of ambition fulfilled. It comes with guidance as well, in terms of if you achieve something. It says remain humble. Remember to both celebrate, appreciate, conserve your gains, your wealth, your successes, and share. So there's an interesting energy here. We then have the Rune of Constraint. This is interesting because the Rune of Constraint sometimes says that, I mean, it calls for perseverance fundamentally. And it says that it refers to the obstacles that we create for ourselves as well as those that we discover in the outside world. I mean, if we look at the energy of this through the eyes of the law of attraction, then we might actually say that any obstacles on the outside of our world are created by ourselves in some way. But either way, this is interesting because it connected in with the flow of these. There is a fertility. You're being asked to invest in yourself in some way, to complete something in order to then move forwards towards ambitions, goals. But yeah, also there's an energy of what I would call conservation. So be mindful, pace yourselves. That's what I'm really hearing. Just take it steadily, one step at a time. That seems to be the energy, the message that's really coming through. So, and again, just this energy of the tiger eye, stone of protection. I feel like I'm wanting to place boundaries around you in some way. Let's turn over all of our cards. Look at that, we have a card of perseverance already coming through. Okay, so this is interesting. Wow, Ace of Wands and Two of Wands. This is very powerful. Ace of Wands, Two of Wands, we have the card of desire, and we have the Six of Earth. I think we're all in camera quite nicely. I keep having to move this further and further away for every reading. So Ace of Wands, new beginnings. You are at a space of a new beginning. It's interesting to have the two following it, because the two for me is about this preparing the ground for your own deliverance, fertilizing the ground for yourself, investing in yourself. Whatever it is, whatever situation you're in, whatever you have started, I think some of you have started or initiated some sort of project, or there is some kind of a situation in your world that is, it's moving, it's building, it's growing, but I think it's in its early stages of development. And often, what I'm really hearing, it's quite a clear message actually. When we are at the early stages of what I would call a new life, whether that's a project, a relationship, a new phase in life, in the early stages, we often encounter what I would call hiccups. It doesn't mean that what we're doing was the wrong move. It just means that we're having to navigate change. And that's what I'm really hearing here. But possessions, ambition fulfilled. I feel like you guys have started something, or you're on a pathway of something that you really, really want to do. We have this fabulous card of desire. This is about dreams, ambitions, goals. What do you desire most? It also speaks of the way that our desires compel us to take action. And I want you to listen. Listen to any dreams that you have. The Ace of Wands means that there is a surge of creative energy available to you to initiate something new. So if some of you have dreams, desires, ambitions, goals, but you've been reticent or unsure about putting them into action, I would say this is suggesting that it would be worth doing so. It's worth actually taking that action. And if you have initiated something, for some of you I think there's already something that's on its way. It's like you've decided to take steps towards your dreams. And you are being asked again, you see this is a card of nourishment. We have the Six of Earth. It's about provision. It's about, I won't say continuity, leading by example, but it means that we walk our talk. It's like if we believe that our desires are important, we don't just support others in finding their desires, we listen to our own as well. It's all about, again, there's a real nurturing energy, provision. This is connecting into the green Aventurine. This is very powerful. This is literally asking you to really connect to your desires. Trust in them, believe in them, and actually also take action. Now this is interesting here because we have be bold, make the first move. We also say take time to breathe out. So that may seem in a way like a paradox, but I don't think it is. This is a reading that's calling you to take action, but at the same time it's also saying we're talking consistent, steady impact here. This is really interesting. We have a card of which direction. We have a card of persevere and stay on course. Now, I am connecting in here to this card, the energy, all the cards are connecting into this, the energy, the message of new beginnings. It's like a new life unfolding. The new life unfolding is connected to your desires, your dreams. Some of you are on that pivotal moment of initiating that. That's what I'm hearing. And others are already on that pathway. But you may be having a wobble, wondering, again, which direction to go in, wondering which way, which dream to follow almost. Those of you that have initiated something already, stay on course, persevere. Those of you that are about to initiate something, trust in your dreams and just take time to listen to them, nurture your dreams. Be bold, make the first move. It's okay to initiate things and just to take your time. Take time to breathe out, for me, is a wonderful card of pause. It sort of gives us permission, if we are in a phase of life that is about accelerated growth, which is often the Rune of Fertility speaks of this. It's taking actions that free us up to move forwards. Again, we had that energy of resolving problems, bringing clarity, nurture. So there's something about nurturing your dreams that's really powerful here. Let's just connect in. I feel like I need to slow down now. Take time to breathe out. But it's really interesting. That is the energy. It's fascinating. I'm almost feeling like this reading is getting me talking more quickly and more quickly. It's like there's a passion here. There's a desire. There's new energy available. But there's also a sort of pause for a moment. Take time to breathe. Which direction? You have reached a turning point in your life. Do not be afraid of taking the wrong path. When you recognize the learning to be found at every step and in every moment of your journey, you will realize that there is no wrong way, only the infinite gain of your personal growth and evolution. Trust in your dreams, guys. For those of you that are seeking direction, I think it will become clear. The way will become clear. There is energy for you to invest in yourselves, to nourish your dreams. If you've initiated something already, stay on course. It says you are facing some big stuff in your life right now. This card is a request that you keep going and stay on course, however challenging this may feel. Please be reassured that right now this is the appropriate way forwards. The universe supports your direction, and slow and steady progress is assured. And we have the card of Persevere, which I think applies to both of the messages that I'm really hearing, whether it's a new initiation of something or it's keeping on track with the course that you're on. Who would have thought that a humble acorn could grow into a mighty oak tree? But of course this takes time. Whatever you are involved in, this card brings a message of reassurance. Your hard work and continued effort and dedication will come to fruition. You are asked to persevere and trust. Such a powerful energy to this. I felt myself almost like running away with myself. I could feel myself going faster and faster and needing to slow down, and yet at the same time to still keep going. Really, really interesting. Guys, so much love to you. Do keep a lookout for the announcements as I as we journey through the month, not I, as we journey through the month. And of course, check in with the big 2020 readings if you haven't done so already. And thank you for your patience with the December 19 ones as well. So much love to you guys, so much love. Welcome to reading number 3. I'm going to move our beautiful white quartz angel and our clear quartz wand up here just to oversee our reading. Let's look at our runes first. We have the rune of breakthrough. This is a rune that speaks of massive transformation, the process of transformation. It says that the outcome is assured because the timing is right. But it also says the outcome may not be exactly as we expect. So very interesting energy, but massive transformation. Sometimes it literally means that we take a 180-degree turn. It's that the breakthrough is so great. We then have, lovely, the energy, the rune of wholeness. This speaks of the path that you must follow. It's a rune of incredible power, source energy, the energy of the sun. It asks that we seek our true path and we follow it, and we also take actions to make that real. So this is very powerful, the two together. Transformation, the timing is right, and the pathway that you must follow. We then have the energy of separation. Wow. Sometimes this rune literally does speak of like real estate, real property. It's a rune that says we have to let go of something. Old skins must be shed. It's as though we've outgrown something and we need to move beyond it. Sometimes this message Sometimes this rune brings a message of needing to, what I would say, let go gracefully. It suggests that we are needing to shed a skin. It's as though a coat that we've been wearing is no longer applicable to us, if that makes some sense. Let's turn over our cards. These are very powerful ones. Wow. Wow, guys, we have the card of the Magician. This is all about manifestation. It's about transformation. We also have the Four of Cups. I always refer to this as, I always see it as being like Cinderella and the Ugly Sisters. It's kind of like, basically, it means that we get pushed to try and discover something. We are seeking something, and we kind of, it's almost like somebody pushes us into something, and even if their intentions weren't honourable, it ultimately creates the breakthrough that we needed. Somebody brings us some information, or they push us to find something out, and we then discover something. Maybe we would have preferred not to discover it, but at the end of the day, it frees us up to move forwards. And we have the card of the Magician. Guys, what do you want to manifest? If something comes to you, or you have discovered something, something's come to light, it's brought you the information you need to be able to move forwards. Now, this is interesting here that we have the card of the Two of Fire. This is a card that speaks of relationship dynamics. It's a card of partnership. It suggests that it's a good time to be in partnership. It's a good time to work at something. It's a good time to collaborate. It can, however, also signify a power struggle in relationship. So if there is something that comes to light here that connects to a relationship and there's a power struggle, it's being brought to your awareness so that you can negotiate it. Okay? Now, the card of the Nine of Fire, excuse me, this speaks of attainment, fruition, confidence, giving your best to everything. It also says, do things for the sake of doing. Don't do it for the sake of outcome. So if you are collaborating, it's kind of almost like be in it for the right reasons. Yeah, don't be in it. Don't be involved in relationships that come in. That's what I'm hearing. Don't be involved in relationships, or be mindful. It's not really for me to tell you what to do in any way, shape or form. And although these readings bring guidance, they're not here to, we have our own conscious free will and choice. But the guidance here is about being mindful of relationships that are not operating entirely on the basis of honesty. Relationships, that's what I'm hearing, relationships that are connecting in with like a hidden agenda. And it's asking you not to be, or to be very mindful of your place in that. Now this is really interesting because we have two cards. What do you need to release? And it's time to release negativity. These are Moonology cards. So there's something around within relationship. Now it could be that you have old skins need to be shed, remember. Let go gracefully. This rune says that we have an attachment, an emotional attachment to something. Now for some people this may be an attitude or a perspective within relationships that may mean that it's stopping you from being free to engage in relationships. I want to say fluently. Sometimes if we've been hurt or damaged by others, again, this is this card again, because there is a flavour of challenge around it. If we've been hurt in relationships, we can often anticipate situations through the lens of potential disappointment and difficulty. And in doing so, we then actually contribute to often recreating the same thing again. I think we are being asked to remove ourselves from any of that sort of stuff within relationship where we're looking through a lens of negativity, because that allows us to stand very firmly in whatever it is that we actually wish and desire to create for ourselves. It's very heavily connected to relationship, but it's also connected to your own space of personal wholeness within relationship. The path you must follow. This is about you being you within relationship, knowing that you have the entitlement. Now we have this card here, internal dialogue. This is lovely. We all have an internal dialogue within our mind, a constant stream of inner conversation. Is your dialogue kind, supportive and affirming? Or is it critical and judgmental of both yourself and others? This card asks you to listen to your inner words and, if necessary, take steps to consciously change your language. Really powerful message of something that is needing to be released, shed, let go of. Any negativity that is clinging to you, either your own perspectives or the perspectives that are being brought in by someone else. It's really time to release that, and I want to say stand very firm and in yourself. Wholeness, empower yourself. Empowerment does not mean that we have power over others. It means that we have power over ourselves. We honour our capacity for free will and conscious choice, whilst honouring the same in others. This card asks you to evaluate your present situation and to take an ownership of your right to choose, with a recognition of the entitlement of others to do the same. Walk your talk. Wholeness. Become what you believe. Are your thoughts, words and actions in alignment with your core inner values? This card asks you to walk your talk, become your own personal hero or heroine, and step into the very best version of yourself. Again, this one here, this wonderful card, give your best to everything. Become your own personal hero or heroine and step into the very best version of yourself, radiating authenticity into the world. This is a magical reading that it's really ultimately about the source of your own empowerment, the path you must follow, what you need to let go of in order to become that better version of you. When we engage from the inside out in that kind of level of change, that level of breakthrough, we really do step into a space of true empowerment. We have this extraordinary energy here. The white quartz, remember, it purifies, cleanses, and acts as a repellent of negative energy. Clear quartz, enhancing awareness. And the quartz crystals are so powerful. You know, illumination on all levels, awareness on all levels. This is a reading of personal empowerment through awareness. Guys, you are utterly awesome. You are walking the pathway of a spiritual warrior. You wouldn't be looking at these readings if you weren't. So much love to you guys, and look out for the announcements for the winners of the additional private readings that I'm going to draw, and of course you know, the diary that I'm going to be giving away, and some other books through the month too, as we come into our Christmas celebrationary period. And yeah, so much love to you guys, so much love. The Art of Manifestation Astro-Moon Diary 2020. Welcome, guys. So what is this diary about? Basically, I put it together because I couldn't find what I was looking for out there in the world. I could find various other diaries, but nothing gave me all of the components that I actually wanted to literally be carrying around with me. For a long time, I have been fascinated by the way that the incoming energy and planetary influences affects us each individually, particularly in relationship to our ability to be consciously manifesting the things that we desire in the world. Now, anyone that knows me very well will know that not so long ago, my world was not particularly in a great place. I faced some huge challenges, and I really worked very hard at understanding how I could turn things around from the inside out. And in many ways, this diary contains a lot of the information that I had to go and search for, sort of collated in a format that I think makes it very accessible and easy to relate to and engage with in terms of your own personal journey. You will find in the diary a breakdown of the steps of manifestation as I have come to understand them and use them in my own life. You will also find information about the different phases of the moon and how to use that energy in terms of your own process of manifestation. You'll find information about the energy of the moon as she travels through the zodiac signs, and also what happens when she's in between signs and her energy isn't being channeled in any particular direction. You'll find information not just about Mercury in retrograde and how that energy affects us, but also Mars and Venus, the warrior planets, in retrograde. In the diary pages, you will find a week to view page with positions of the moon every single day. And of course, also most importantly for me, as this is something I have been really looking for, next to the week to view, there is a page where you can actually journal and make your own personal notes and reflections. It means that this diary can become a personal record for you in your own growing ability to understand the incoming energy and use it to its absolute fullest. So guys, I am going to be giving away 10 copies of this diary in the first week of December, so please watch this space. That will, obviously it's a subscriber offer. But guys, thank you so much for being a part of this amazing community. And do look out for the announcement of that, and also look out for the announcements the following week, because I will also be giving away further copies. There is a proper journal that goes with the diary as well, and I'll be giving away copies of those in the second week of December. So much love to you guys, so much love.